Aldrich Rosas kicks off for New York. They won the toss and deferred. The Lions will get it first. Here's the rookie Jamal Agnew out of the University of San Diego. Upended as he reached the 20-yard line. Attempts per game. They open with a single back, Amir Abdullah. And he charges ahead for about 5 to the 24-yard line. Trying to get the ground game going. These were two of the worst rushing teams in the NFL last year and in recent years for that matter. Stafford over the middle. Pass is caught by Eric Ebron, the tight end, into Giants territory for a touchdown by Justin Bethel. That was his first throw as the highest paid man in football. He bounced back to throw 4 touchdown passes in that win. Amir Abdullah got stuffed. Roberts, tight end, lined up in front of Amir Abdullah. Took a hit behind the line, slipped down, and did not make it back to the line of scrimmage. Washington and Michael Roberts on the hips of Stafford. Scrambles to throw. Darren Fells, the tight end, banged down by Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. Locke, former Minnesota Viking punter. They lost their punter Casey Redfern to a knee injury last week. He was actually in for Sam Martin, who got hurt in the offseason. Wound up being the final catch of his 6-year NFL career. Giants on offense for the first time. Paul Perkins, who's their featured back, goes nowhere. Have more consecutive starts in NFL history among quarterbacks. It's 213 in a row if you count the playoffs. Manning in trouble and sacked. And the ball comes out very late. Haloti Ngata knocked the ball loose. No whistle, so at least for the moment it's alive, and it's a Detroit touchdown for Darius Slay. The officials are conferring. Was Manning down before the ball came out? Looked live like he was down, and it looks like he's down there. I guess the only question would be, was the ball starting to come out before his knee hit the ground?
Previous play is going to be reviewed. After reviewing the play prior to the fumble, the quarterback's left knee was down by contact. The ball will be placed back at the 13-yard line. 3rd down. The clock will remain as is.
A lot of problems on offense for the Giants, most notably that offensive line. Very conservative call by Ben McAdoo. Shane Vereen on the draw. And the Boo Birds are out very early. Brad Wing on the punt. And a teammate of Odell Beckham Jr. at LSU. Short kick and a bad bounce for New York. Detroit will have excellent field position near midfield. Excellent field position for Detroit from their own 46. Second possession of the night for the Lions, and a play fake to Amir Abdullah. And a deep throw, single coverage, and it's incomplete, intended for Marvin Jones. We'll see more action at corner. He was going to be in there as a part of their nickel. Out of the pistol, Amir Abdullah slipping a bit as he turned the corner, but a nifty gain into Giant territory to the 46. It'll be 3rd down and 2. Backs in the league, 3rd down and 2. Stafford up his back foot, has a receiver. Eric Ebron again, and a first down to the Giants' 40-yard line. The year before he got there, he's taken them to the playoffs 3 times, including a year ago. The pitch to Abdullah with Lyman in front, and Amir tackled around the legs by Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. And they stick with Abdullah. And he turns the corner, very near a first down. There's a flag down on the play.
That's going to be Greg Robinson at left tackle. He's had a history of this.
Number 73, 10-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
Second pick in the draft a few years ago by the Rams. He just...
Mid-season, he's another first-round pick out of the University of Michigan. From the 45, a screen. Here's Theo Riddick. Down to the 38-yard line. Warner was injured. Stafford, flushed from the pocket, showing that running ability that John talked about before the game, and he slides down with a first down at the 24-yard line of New York. 8 August. It averages out to $27 million a season. Amir Abdullah can't find any running room that time. Again, it's Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie from the corner. Stafford Again pressured, but they can't get him down. And now he's going to get as much as he can. They are in field goal range for Matt Prater. Four-man rush. Stafford well protected, lofts it up, and it's a touchdown for Marvin Jones.
Felt Landon Collins get out of position, and he threw a back shoulder fade. Beautiful throw. Jones, who had 930 yards receiving last year, is the Lions certified deep threat. That's a great adjustment.
FC Special Teams Player of the Week last week. Kicked a 58-yard field goal, got thrust into the punting role after Redfern got hurt. Punted respectably 3 times in that game. There is, we believe, a flag down on the play.
He's from
Offside. Defense number 24. Detroit has elected for that penalty to be enforced on the ensuing kickoff. Timeout.
The good doctor going to promote Monday Night Football?
I hope he is.
It's equal time. Jeff Locke kicks off. And it's a good one. A touchback. Won 11 games last year despite the fact they were 26th in the league in scoring. Leaned heavily on the defense. On the reverse, Sterling Shepard, second-year man out of Oklahoma. Some creativity in the play calling there. Glover Quinn chopped him down, but it's a first down for New York after a 12-yard gain. Brett Jones has come in for New York. Odell Beckham Jr. tackled by Darius Slay. So there's the first catch of the season for Odell, who caught 101 balls last year. The motion man, the new Giant, who caught just 1 ball against Dallas. 6-time Pro Bowler. On the slant, it's Roger Lewis Jr. They fake a handoff to Paul Perkins, and it's dumped off to the tight end, Red Ellison. 53 career catches in 6 years. He doesn't catch many. Perkins bounced off a hit behind the line, but could not get back to the line of scrimmage. Tavon Wilson had penetration, and then Darius Slay finished the job. Corner opposite Darius Slay. Perkins down to the 34-yard line. Shane Vereen in the backfield, excellent pass receiver. He caught 9 balls last week against Dallas. Manning throws on target. Evan Ingram, the tight end, first-round pick, the rookie out of Ole Miss. For the season on offense for New York, but perhaps about to punch it in the end zone. They're in the red zone at the 18. And Manning going to the end zone for the touchdown. Evan Ingram.
He's going to fool the linebackers, the safeties. They think it's a lead block. There's nobody home. That's great design, but you must know that Evan Ingram is a pass receiver. He is not in there to be a fullback. That's a good drive.
Evan Ingram called for unsportsmanlike conduct after his first NFL touchdown. Manning 6 for 6 on that drive. Here's the rookie, Aldrick Rosas, with the extra point that ties the game. That is ultra fast. From an athletic family. His sister Mackenzie plays basketball at the University of Georgia. And Rosas' kick goes out of bounds.
Kickoff out of bounds. Kicking team by rule. Ball be placed at the 40-yard line.
You're wondering who
10.
ran a faster.
Based on the previous penalty, the kickoff out of bounds goes from where that ball was kicked. 1st and 10, 45-yard line.
I get dumber and dumber.
Stafford under duress throws a wobbler over the head of Marvin Jones. Although Goodson's the defensive signal caller. Again, they try to bring pressure. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie couldn't make the tackle, and instead it's a gain for Golden Tate, with more yards after the catch last year than any player in the NFL. The Giants defense in week 1 at Dallas did not force a single 3-and-out. Looking for their first of the season. Tate gets the first down. 3 catches last year within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. Matter of fact, 40 of those were at or behind the line of scrimmage. He's really an extension of their running game. Pressure again from Eli Apple. He deflected the pass, and it's no gain. It was complete to Eric Ebron, but Landon Collins there to blast him for New York. Another blitz from Spagnuolo, and Stafford loses the football. Knocked away by Jason Pierre-Paul. And it looks like the Giants had it. And they do at the 36-yard line.
Right side of your screen, Pierre-Paul punishing Matt Stafford, and that's a huge impact play. You knock Stafford down.
Von Kennard recovered the fumble for New York. So a takeaway for the Giants defense, and Manning down the middle behind Ingram, and it's intercepted by the Lions on the ricochet. Tyre Whitehead back inside the 30-yard line.
Ingram on a crossing route. The Lions weren't fooled this time. They knew Ingram was in there to run a route. Eli just missed the throw. It's tipped, and tip passes between the hash marks is a problem
already this season. And some running room for Amir Abdullah. Inside the 22-yard line, tripped up. 2nd and 3. Lions try to reclaim the lead. Ebron open after the play fake. And he's out of bounds at the 11-yard line. Excellent pass receiving tight end. Wayne Washington, the running back. And he squirts all the way down inside the 7-yard line. He goes in motion closer to the line. Matched up with Rogers Cromartie. Stays in the block and nothing doing. Landon Collins, one of the best defensive players in football. Red zone defensive team in the league last year. Stafford got away from JPP and throws a touchdown. Eric Ebron gives Detroit the lead again.
You get knocked down, you sack, you fumble, poked in the eye, you come right back.
Matt Prater for the extra point. The new holder, Jeff Locke, gets it down.
I got a lot of respect for where the Lions have come in the 7, 8, 9 years that Matt Stafford has been. Let me show you what this guy can do.
Orleans Darkwood running back now. Fan favorite here in the Meadowlands, and that will continue as he runs for 10, perhaps even 11. It is an 11-yard gain and a first down for New York.
Step up his play in the middle of this Lion defense.
Lots of time for Eli, and there is Davis. Well, it's hard to blame that one on the offensive line. At the latest every morning around 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Usually there at about 9 o'clock at night. And look out. Eli Manning will not get away from Ziggy Ansah.
40.
The sacks of 10 yards, 8 yards, and now a penalty flag down.
Encroachment, defense, number 91, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
And the Giants have a long way to go for the first down. They throw the quick hitter, Odell Beckham Jr. Tripped up by Glover Quinn, the outstanding.
Young players and key veterans, it's a great combination. Here's Agnew, a rookie punt returner. They like it.
He averaged 16 yards per punt return on 3 returns against Arizona, the opener. To be honored at the half here tonight. Prior to the first down snap, a false start against
False
Detroit.
start, offense, number 73, 5-yard penalty,
Whoa.
first down.
1st and 15, Amir Abdullah. Nothing doing, a loss on the play. Run down by Jonathan Casillas. Under 5 minutes to go in the half. Vernon, that time didn't quite get there, and the pass incomplete. Looked like Kenny Golladay didn't quite see it coming. There is a flag down right where Stafford hit the deck after the throw.
Holding, offense, number 73.
Wow.
Penalty's been declined, 3rd down.
Wow, that looked like a late hit. Detroit's 5 out of 7 on 3rd down. 4-man rush. Vernon got by Robinson. Stafford got it off in a double coverage and nearly caught by Marvin Jones.
Going to be defending the post for this Giant defense.
Jeff Locke punting it away to Dwayne Harris. All-pro special teamer. And he gets yanked down at the 37-yard line for 10 yards. They've targeted him twice. He's caught it both times. No targets to Brandon Marshall. He was supposed to come here and be a productive sidekick. Assist him. He did miss a little time in training camp due to injury. This is largely about timing. There he is. Targeted, but it's incomplete, out of bounds as he made the catch. Go to him without Beckham. But he didn't have a catch until 20 seconds remained in the game to extend his streak to 160 straight games with a catch and another sack.
Him in a hotel last night?
Yes.
I wish I had him.
Basketball player originally from Ghana. Went to BYU. Jamal Agnew. 1st and 10, Detroit leading 14-7. Dwayne Washington. He got rocked as he reached the 30-yard line, ran into Devon Kennard to bring those two over. They run to the other side with Amir Abdullah. He has a first down and much more. Across midfield and a touchdown saving tackle made by Darian Thompson. 7 lead at the 2-minute warning. 1st and 10 at the New York 46. A screen. Amir Abdullah's had a very productive half. There is a flag now. Nobody near Abdullah for most of that run, but it's coming back for a holding call against the Lions.
Holding offense. Number 76. 10-yard penalty. First down.
TJ Lang, the ex-Green Bay Packer, does not like this call at all. I don't agree with this call either.
46 is the new middle linebacker, the rookie Calvin Munson, calling the defensive signals for New York. That helped through the headset from Steve Spagnuolo. Galladay thought he was not whistled down, but he was.
The Giants at the bottom of the screen.
Stafford, clean pocket, long throw. That's what they tried to do. Go to Galladay, working on Ross Cockrell. Suffered an ankle injury. Jenkins tried to give it a go during the warm-ups. He was clearly limping. There's Golden Tate, his specialty, the run after the catch. He didn't get enough for the first down. Block the new holder. That one is hooking, and it's off the crossbar, and good! Good 4 years in Minnesota. As a matter of fact, he left, signed as a free agent with Indianapolis, and he got cut, which is unusual. When they sign a punter as a free agent, and they don't keep him. But Detroit was glad he was available. His 2-0 teams, if they can win tonight. Giants trying to avoid 0-2. Booze again, and it isn't working. There's Jeff Locke to kick off. Dwayne Harris, middle of the end zone, takes a knee. Here is Lisa Salter. Orleans Darkwa, the running back. They give it to him. Off the left side, he gets bent back after a gain of about.
After the first half.
To start 0-2, that's a really bad omen if you want to make the playoffs. And there he goes down again. Looked like the ball almost came out. Eli did well to hang on to it. The 5th sack of the night. But it's 3rd down and 9. On target throw to Darkwa, but he swung out of bounds by the rookie Jared Davis, well short of the first down.
Rare intangibles and leadership, and he will stuff you.
Played all 67 of their defensive snaps against Arizona in the opener. Brad Wing the punt. Fair catch made by Jamal Agnew. 9-14. Their only playoff win since January of '92. They beat the Cowboys under Wayne Fonts. There's Calvin Munson, the rookie, undrafted free agent from San Diego State. Amir Abdullah in trouble. And he's dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Devon Kennard.
Matt Stafford, I like this team.
Successive losses on this, their first possession of the second half. Stafford looked like he thought he was about to go down, realized there wasn't anybody that close.
Somebody needs to jump start this football team.
Good kick by Locke, very high. Harris caught it on the run near the sideline and could not get away. Here's another reverse. Worked well in the first half for Sterling Shepard, not that time. He's chased out of bounds. Chris Kasurik, the defensive line coach. I know you love him, Coach, largely because of his energy. After a loss on first down, there's Lewis Jr.
Chicago Bears. Ledbetter, 98's a rookie from Arkansas. And here's Odell Beckham.
His 3rd catch of the night, and it goes for a first down. He stays on the field. Paul Perkins. Again tonight, the running game for the Giants virtually 5-man rush, enough to bring pressure. Wobbly throw, but a man open, and a big gainer for New York. Jarrell Adams, one of their tight ends.
118.
After the 38-yard gain, he's on target again. It's Marshall. Size and ability in the red zone, a la Plaxico Burress from days gone by. Perkins into the line. Surged a little bit forward, but didn't get much. Down at the 1. And there's a flag down. Oh my goodness, it's going to be a holding call against the Giants.
Holding. Offense. Number 69.
Wow.
10-yard penalty. First down.
Back-to-back completions of 38, the longest of the season remaining in 17. Now they're back on the 11. High throw incomplete. In the middle of the end zone, looking for Sterling Shepard. Play clock running down. 1 second left as they snap it. Eli check to a run for Shane Vereen. He got popped as he crossed the 10. On 3rd and goal from the 9. Manning steps into the throw, and a big tackle made. Ingram tackled around the legs by Glover Quinn. And they better block. Detroit showing blitz. They rush 4, and there's a whistle. Did the play clock run out? Yes, it did. Wow. Well, it might have saved them from a mistake, because now they have to kick the field goal.
4th down.
5-yarder. And it's right down the middle. On the ESPN app. C.J. Jones takes a knee. 25. 1st and 10, Detroit. Stafford again showing that running ability that John talked about before the game. He slides for a 5-yard gain. Been more effective than usual. They've rushed for 70 yards. Average better than 4 yards a carry. Amir Abdullah wrestled down by Olivier Vernon. It'll be 3rd down and short for Detroit. He's averaged more than 5 catches per game over the last 2 seasons in Detroit. Design roll, and the throw right on target for a 1st down. Matthew Stafford's childhood buddy back in Highland Park in the Dallas area. Theo Riddick will get extra points from the Russian judge for the sit spin. Paid NFL player $27 million a year. Kershaw lost tonight for the Dodgers. He was 17-3 heading into action. And I think Bruce is another one of his high school buddies.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Maybe he's good pals with Bruce Springsteen. I think Bruce does pretty well at the bank as well. Flag down as Riddick went spinning ahead for about 3 yards.
Well, you see what Stafford's doing, Sean. He's seeing these safety blitzes.
Offense. Number 60. 10-yard penalty replay. 1st down.
Anything else about his quarterback? He continues to improve in his 9th year in the league. Here Abdullah, nice hold as he sliced back to the right. All kinds of flags thrown.
Holding. Offense. Number 71. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
Second down and 28. JPP penetration. Jonathan Casillas. Final seconds of the 3rd quarter. They're trying to chip away at this long yardage situation. Riddick taken down by Jay Bromley.
They went off here, Sean.
Yeah, catch them off guard, and they did. And really nobody lined up for the Giants. And Stafford throws a deep ball that's incomplete. The secondary rallied. There is a flag down.
Stafford read
At the
that.
snap. 12 men on the field. Defense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Over and over again throughout their careers have demonstrated the ability to lead their team back. 3rd and 18. Looked like the Giants were offside. Stafford knows it. He throws a bomb too high. Oh, and then after the ball's gone.
Get a free play, take a shot.
Offside. Defense. Number 54. 5-yard penalty replay. 3rd down.
Some sloppy football here in the last 10 minutes. Top of the screen. Vernon's offside. Stafford knew it. He had a free play.
13 was 1st and 30 at one point. Giants blitz. It was the middle linebacker Munson who got picked up, but Stafford threw it Incomplete in the direction of Marvin Jones with Eli Apple in coverage, and Detroit will punt. And Locke on the punt. Fair catch signal made by Harris of the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. Wasn't always named for Walter Payton. Darkwa, the ball carrier on first down. It was nice to speak with Eli about that too. It's a great honor. And 8, as ugly as it's been again on offense for New York. They're down by just a touchdown with 14 minutes to go. 5-man rush, and open is Marshall, and he drops the ball. Now it's 3rd down and 8. Ingram didn't quite get to the first down marker, it appears. And it's going to be 4th down and 1.
You talk about the Giants not scoring points. Dropping the football is a big reason for it.
Odell Beckham Jr. dropped 8 in the regular season last year. That was 6th most in the league. Booming punt by Wing. But Jamal Agnew, a nice return. It goes by the punter Wing, and he is off to the races. Jamal Agnew, the rookie out of the University of San Diego, makes it a 2-score game.
That's another Bob Quinn draft choice. This good for a while. It's a great catch. Unbelievable open field running.
He can run. He ran 88 yards after a 60-yard punt. That's Zach Diossi, the long snapper, among those who could not get Agnew on the ground. No chance for Wing.
And here he is again tonight. To be offsides.
Offside. Defense number 31. 5-yard penalty. Detroit selected a re-kick from the 10-yard line.
And he has done a great job with his young line team.
It was the best record through 50 regular seasons. Dwayne Harris the deepest, and he's not going to try it.
118, what's that?
A play fake. It looked like they wanted to throw it short to Ingram. Instead, it wound up in the direction of Marshall at some point. He played very well last year. What can the Giants do?
Well, the Giants have to find a way to get a creative protection plan together and help Flowers. Right tackle where a lot of us think he should have been drafted to play at.
Manning, look out. Spins around. He got absolutely drilled. And the wobbler winds up in the hands of Sterling Shepard.
Smashes Eli Manning.
Oh my. I wonder if he'll live long enough to complete the comeback if they're able to get within striking range. Perkins, great start. 2nd and 9. Ooh. You can hear what the crowd thinks of that call. Paul Perkins. Perkins 7 rushes for 10 yards. He catches the ball, but he's short of the first down by about 2.5 yards. We're down by 2 touchdowns, approaching 10 minutes to go. Shane Vereen, the running back. Detroit rushes only 3. They go to cover, and it looks like Vereen got belted down by Quandre Diggs.
Detroit has challenged the previous play, forward progress in relationship to the first down. We'll review the play.
He's short. That's a great challenge. There's no doubt in my mind he's short. Last year, Asa Jackson had to play the nickel position.
Progress spot, we're going to replace the ball at the 49.5-yard line and remeasure. Detroit has won the challenge. They are not charged with the timeout.
Well, he might like what he sees tonight after they win this challenge. That's great coaching. And Quandre Diggs, get back to Diggs. What a play that was.
His parents,
Please
his mother
reset the
said,
game
well,
clock. 10 minutes, 2 seconds. 10:02 on the game clock, please. 1st and 10, Detroit.
so the Lions with the ball. Now under 10 minutes to go. Stafford let the play clock go down to 6. Time the ally, obviously, of the Lions. Rager has a big leg, but this might be a little beyond his range. Stafford back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. The rookie Calvin Munson Under 8 minutes to go. Very high. And he does it again, coach. NFL or text Red Cross to 90999.
You're going to have to throw the ball now, whether they want to or not.
Some speculation about the future, as we mentioned, the play calling, but looks like the honeymoon's over. He won 11 games last year.
Some of these players got to play a heck of a lot better than I've seen them play tonight.
Sterling Shepard the catch. And now Vereen. Short gain to the 30-yard line, under 7 minutes to go.
Play Slay, the best corner of the Lions, is going to keep an eye on Beckham.
Beckham's played about half their offensive snaps. Shepard thought he was being held, so did the crowd, but no flag thrown.
They play every down, and they're unselfish.
On 3rd and 5, another conversion. Odell Beckham Jr.
Bottom of the screen.
10-yard gain, 4th catch for Beckham. Vereen, the ball carrier in just about every running play. Indeed they are. There's Red Ellison.
What he did earlier in the game.
Eli stepped into the pocket, got it off. Shane Vereen weaving down the far side and inside the 30-yard line. A couple of years that he's making his 201st consecutive start tonight. He throws toward the end zone for Marshall, and it's broken up by Darius Slay. 4:47 to go. From the 29. Manning throwing while backing up as the pressure was again coming. Evan Ingram, the intended receiver. Play clock at 1. They blitz from Manning's right. He dodged that, throws on the run for Ingram, and he couldn't catch it. Near the goal line. A must-convert 4th down and 10 with 4.5 minutes to go. Given time, throws, and it is incomplete. Cardinals off an overtime win yesterday in Indianapolis against the 1-1 Dallas Cowboys. Here's the only good news for the Giants.
The Marshall has not arrived yet.
He's done very little on offense in the second half until now. Here's Amir Abdullah off to the races, and he's spun down by Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, who then clutches his knee.
Year ago.
34-yard run by Abdullah. Now Theo Riddick
is healthy once again.
He has 86 yards rushing. You mentioned they haven't had 100-yard rushing. Whoa.
This running game.
Here's Riddick following Rick Wagner, and it looks like he got the first down.
Trivia for you.
I'm not sure this is going to be a playoff team in New York. Matter of fact, the odds are against them. Since they went to the current format teams as well, they give up an 88-yard punt return for a touchdown. 2-minute warning, 2nd and 10 for Detroit. Theo Riddick. It's also going to end a 6-game home winning streak for the Giants. They went 7-1 here last year, the only home loss in week 3 to the Redskins.
I can't argue with you.
Including a Super Bowl championship. Lions in the prevent defense. They're throwing a running play, what might be the last play. So this will be 8 straight games now for the Giants without reaching 20 points, including the playoff loss to Green Bay last year. Last time the Giants went 8 games in a row without reaching 20 points back in 1978 and 79, when they went 17 games in a row without reaching 20. So there are now 8 2-0 teams, including the Detroit Lions, trying to get to the Super Bowl for the first time in franchise history.